Joining me in the studio now is Jason Miller. Hello, Jason, the CEO of social media platform GETTR. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
This is obviously, you may know that this has been a subject that I have followed with passionate interest from the beginning. I'm assuming that you too support the truckers' protests, or at the very least, their right to protest.
Well, absolutely, and I think it's important to keep in mind why this protest is even happening, because these government controls that are going into place, even as the science has clearly shown that it's time to move on from some of the mandates, that now people are being held back to the previous standards. And as certain provinces in Canada, I believe it was Alberta and Saskatchewan, started to relax certain things with regard to the passports and some of the mandates, at the federal level, they were keeping many of those controls in place. And I think Justin Trudeau has really turned a blind eye to people initially, but then now he's starting to use this emergency act and the authoritarian force to go and actually suppress them. And it's real dangerous to see all these free speech rights being taken away.
Why though? You know, I would have thought in my naivety that it would have been great for a leader to say, it's behind us now, and we can look forward to the sunlit uplands and kind of ride the wave of popular enthusiasm that would have then ensued. Why would a Prime Minister decide, in the face of the evidence, as you suggest, that the pandemic was on the wane, to tighten the screws? What's the motivation, in your opinion?
Well, in my opinion, I think many politicians, not just in Canada, we've seen it in the United States, we've certainly seen it in the UK and other countries, have become drunk with power, so to speak, where they've seen the ability to shut down economies. Australia, which is essentially one big, massive lockdown, they're slowly starting to relax on some of it, but they've seen where they can go and constrict any aspect of movement, of free speech. And so now anytime there's dissent or debate, just as Majid said in the last segment, governments now feel empowered to come in and say, it's our way, or we're going to go ahead and lock you up. It
seems so out of context, though, because as I understand it, 90% of the cross-border truckers are vaccinated, which invites a person to say, realistically, what more could be done? You know, the people have done what was asked of them. Why not let it go?
Well, and that's because I think that there is this worldview that many of the leaders have in the Western world where it has to be their way, that the only way that people can survive is if they have these lockdowns or continued mandates. They don't want to admit that they may have been wrong. In fact, in the United States, we have Dr. Anthony Fauci, which how often is Dr. Fauci wrong? It depends on how many days in the week there are. He's consistently proven wrong. I remember when he said at one point you had to wear one mask, then two masks, then no mask. Now, I don't even know how many masks we're back to in the United States now. But so many leaders don't want to admit that they're wrong or that science has proven that it's time to amend the policies.